Hi again. Welcome to another lecture on Roadmap series. Today we're going to talk about front-end developer roadmap. So after watching this video, you will able to understand how can you become a very good front-end developer with zero programming knowledge. So if you are a beginner, you want to learn, you want to build your own website, so this lecture is for you. This is a basic lecture for anyone who want to start their programming career in web development. So let's get started. So here, first of all, what is a front-end web development? So when you see a website and the part of a website that the user interacts with directly is termed the front-end part. So it is also referred to as a client side of the application. It includes everything that user experience directly. So this is the front end part. But also there are another pillar of web development, that is the back end part. So these two terms are very important in web development, and these are quite different from each other. And each side needs to communicate and operate effectively with other as a single unit to improve the web functionality. So when I'm going to talk about a backend part, so what's mean of that? So basically, backend is a server side of a website. So it stores and arranges the data and also makes sure that everything on client side of the website works fine. That is, the user interface works fine. So in this video, we're gonna talk about only the front end web development. Okay, so how can you become a very good front end web developer? So if you are in your high school, if you are in your college, so maybe this is your first video in programming, so don't worry about that. Because if you really want to learn these kind of knowledge about web development, you don't need to any programming language before. Okay, so I hope you are a beginner. So there are so many language, there are so many frameworks. If you don't know what is a framework, I will discuss it later. And libraries to choose from. So often a beginners themselves. So it's very difficult to find you people how to start off your development journey. So this video will help you. So first of all, the whole front-end web development has depend on these three fundamental things, and these are the language. These are the different language. First one is HTML. Sorry, HTML. So it is nothing but a hypertext markup language. So it is not a programming language. And then CSS, that is cascading style sheets. So it is a style sheet language that is basically used for presentation of document written in a markup language, that is HTML. Okay, and also the third one is JavaScript. So what is JavaScript, guys? So JavaScript is a programming language for the web, just like other programming language like C or C++. These are also a programming language, but these are not basically using for web. So a JavaScript can update both this HTML and also the CSS part, and it can also manipulate and validate the data. So these are the three fundamental pillars for front-end web development. And if you have this kind of knowledge, basic knowledge, after that you need to know about internet. So this is very important that if you want to make your own website, you need to know all about hosting and domain name and all other kind of stuff related with internet, how internet works. And now Git. So why Git? Also we will discuss about these things in detail in this lecture video. And after that, you need to learn about REST API. And after that, PWA, that means Progressive Web Apps and GraphQL. So these are the basics. So these are all over the concepts you need to know about front-end web developments. If you really want to become a very good front-end web developer, then you need to know these kind of things, guys. So after learning JavaScript, you need to learn about their frameworks also. Now let's start the whole video. Okay, so how can you learn these kind of things? So these are basically the syllabus you need to know about. So how can you learn these kind of things? So I'm just gonna divide all your learning map into three parts. In the first part, you need to learn the basic things, and after that, you will become like you have a better knowledge. You have a basic knowledge of these kind of things. Now you need to learn about intermediate things, and if you once learn these kind of things, then you need to learn about the advanced concept. So I have divided the whole roadmap into three parts. So let's discuss. Okay. So first thing is that what are the basic things you need to know when you're gonna learn front-end web development? Okay. So let's start with internet. So this is basically not that much necessary, but definitely this will help you on your journey. So what are the things you really have to know about? That is, first one is, how does the internet work? What is HTTP? What is hosting? And how do browser works? Okay, where HTTP is hypertext protocol. So it is basically an application layer protocol in the internet protocol suite model for distributed collaborative hypermedia information systems. And if you gonna ask me like how does internet work, so that it is basically the internet is a worldwide computer network, and that transmit a variety of data and media across the interconnected devices. Okay, so now if you learn these kind of concept about internet, how does the internet work, what is the HTTP, what is hosting, and how do browser works, then you have to start your first journey about your web development. And there you will learn about HTML, guys. So you have started your journey and you will able to learn HTML. Already I have discussed about what is HTML. So HTML is a hypertext markup language. So this is the foundation of front end web. Okay. So if you really want to learn front end web development, you have to first understand what is HTML, guys. So this is a foundation of front end web development. Okay, so if you are a beginner, first thing is that you need to know about the introduction, what is HTML, and after that you need to learn about HTML document structure, and then just understand all the basic tags and how they basically works. And one thing I noticed that even a beginner trying to learn all HTML tags, so you don't need to worry about all the tags, but you have to learn basic tags such as HTML head, that is the form, body tag, and the head tag, title tag, input tag, the paragraph tag, that is for PIF, and also for header h1, h2, s3, h4, s6. So after learning these kind of things, you have a basic knowledge of HTML. Now you just move uh, sorry now you will able to create a website, okay, a static website, but it definitely not look like a very professional website, guys. So what you need to do, you need to add some CSS for look it more professional. Okay, so basically HTML is like a skeleton and the remaining things is known as CSS. Already I have mentioned about what is a CSS. So what you need to learn at a beginner, you need to first learn all kind of basic CSS selectors like tag selector, class selector, and ID selector, and this is a universal selector. And after that, you need to learn about the box model. What is margin? What is the meaning of border? How you can do padding and where your content. So all these kind of things you need to learn about. After that, another thing like other basic properties and the positioning. So there you can learn that the how can you change the background color, and you will also learn about the learn and these kind of properties also used for the making of your box model. And now you are able to make your static website after learning these kind of things. Now what you really want to do, so you really want to do to make your website interactive. Okay, so what you have a JavaScript. So this is a tool basically you use to make your website dynamic. So when you book a ticket, you can see that when you book a railway ticket or any ticket, airline ticket, you can see that after booking your ticket, after your payment, a ticket is generated. So that is basically an example of a dynamic website. So here what you need to learn. Already I have mentioned about it is a programming language. So first thing is that you need to learn about all the basic concept, all the basic programming syntax, and also you need to write some programs using JavaScripts. So here you practice a lot of programs or basic programs that you have a better understanding of this programming language. And after that, you can start learning about event listeners. So how can you just create and dispose event listeners in your program? And here we can just add event listeners, add element dot the function that add event listeners in the inside of function, any functions. So how can the event occurs? Okay, so basically creating event listeners allow you to trigger a callback. Okay, and if you understand these kind of things, now it's time to learn DOM manipulation. It is one of the most important skill you need to learn about in JavaScript. So it is also paired with event listeners, and it allow you to modify any part of the website when an event occurs. Now you are completing the all basic concepts. So now you are no longer a beginner. Now you have enough skill that you can make your website. But this is not your, here your journey is not stopped. You have only the basic knowledge of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now you have to need to learn some skills that makes you an intermediate front-end web developer. So what you gonna do? You have to start the other things in HTML like the advanced stuff like semantic HTML. So so at first you might think that using a div everywhere is a good idea, but it can significantly downplay your ranking on search engines. So you should learn about the basic semantic tags like section, header tag, sorry, main header tag, and footer. So these are the some different semantic tags basically you can learn, and these are just like a section tag is used to group the content into a different sections, and footer basically just like a header footer tag is used to define the footer for a document, and so on. And after that, the meta tag, so it basically allow you to inject additional information into your website. So here you can see that this is some screenshot of some link of a YouTube link. Okay, so you can understand by this example. So here this is your meta title, that is introduction to C language or Cyberson Academy. Okay, and here is the description, and it is known as your meta description. When you put a link on a website, sorry, on your WhatsApp, you can see these kind of things happen. And this is your meta image. So basically, meta tag allow you to inject additional information into your website. Now it's time to learn more advanced CSS. And here you need to learn about media queries. So it is not possible to know the device a user would use to access your website. So media queries allow you to define how your website looks and feel your device. So also you need to learn about more CSS properties. Okay, and that properties are like looking into variables, clip path, text, ellipsis, and others. And also, this is not your journey stop here. You have to also understand and learn about advanced CSS selectors. And this basically allow you to highly granular with your selection. So this is a topic worth looking into it if you have a deeply nested website. Just like if you have any example like input type is equal to text dot invalid. So it basically selects only the text input that have an associated invalid class. Now, now you have also learned the advanced concept of CSS. Now what you gonna learn? So it's time to basically understand to learn framework, guys. So what is basically a framework? So in JavaScript, so basically what is a JavaScript framework? Okay, so JavaScript framework is a tool that you can leverage to develop advanced web application, especially SPS. Okay, so you guys might be at a loss since there are so many frameworks to choose from, like Angular, React.js, Node.js. So these are some JavaScript framework: Angular, React, Node. So also so due to their popularity, you face any issue. So you would able to find their solution on Stack Overflow, guys. So it is easy. It will be easy for you how to choose a particular framework for you for your web development. That is for your JavaScript framework. And the basics of framework like state management, routing, these kind of things, guys. Now you have learned all those concepts, like after learning one framework like about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So you are able to write your program, sorry, you are able to make your own website that is also static as well as dynamic. Now what after that? So if you make a project, okay, so basically whenever you work on a large project, so it basically you have to maintain a different version of the application to cumbersome the task. So we have a software like Git. So Git is basically a DevOps tool. It is used for source code management, and it is a free and open source version of a control system, and it is used to handle small to very large project effectively. And also it is used to cracking changes in the source code, enabling multiple developers to work together on a nonlinear development. So why you need to learn a Git? Okay, so basically we work on a large project, so we can maintain the different version of the application, okay, using the Git. So we have a, okay, so we have an application, sorry, so we have a open source control system like a Git. Now after learning Git, what you need to learn? You need to learn about REST API, guys. So when you are working on a real world application, you require the data from other servers. And APIs provide your endpoints to share data between your application and the various services hosted on the web. So that is all about your intermediate section. Hi. So you have covered HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Also you learn about JavaScript framework, suppose Angular, React, or any one framework. Also you are familiar with Git, and you know how can you use Git for your large project. Also you can use REST API. So how can you working on a real life world application? Now it's time to advance your career, that is boost your career in web development. So now it's time to understand advanced concept, to learn advanced skills like PWA, guys. That means progressive web apps. So these are the web applications that have been designed so they are capable, reliable, and installable. Okay, and these are the some three pillars. Transfer them into an experience that feels like a platform specific applications. So all you need to know about PWA. So after intermediate to web developer, front-end web developer, you have to learn also about advanced concept like progressive web apps. So these are some web applications. Okay, and now it's time to understand. These are optional. These are not a mandatory things for you if you really want to like switch your career in the advanced way. Suppose you want to become a full stack developer, so you don't need to learn all those things in that level. But if you really want to become a front end web developer, you need to know about GraphQL. Okay, so it is nothing but it is an alternative for REST API that is developed by a Facebook for application that require a huge number of requests, and it reduces the number of requests by specifically mentioning the data you need to within the request. So it is nothing but it is a query language for APIs, and it is and a runtime for pulling those queries. So GraphQL operates using post requests through REST API. So a strong knowledge of REST API definitely helps. So it will definitely helps you. Now you have covered all those concepts. You have completed your roadmap to become a front-end web developer. So if you will learn these things, you will definitely become a very good front-end web developer. Okay, and also you can learn another things like cross-platform applications. You can also learn this kind of things. It's up to you because your learning not stop here. Keep learning. Okay, so just I am wrapping up all those things. So here you can see some pictures and some animations. So here at the bottom you are a beginner, you know nothing about that, about what is a front end web development and what is a like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and nothing about programming. So hope after this video you are able to understand like what is a web development and what you need to learn. So first thing is that you have to learn all those basic things. So here like first you need to learn HTML, then CSS and JavaScript. After learning JavaScript you need to learn about some JavaScript framework like Angular, React, Node, any one of them you can choose. It's up to you. And also you need to learn about Git, and after that REST API. So here you have learned enough to make your own website. And after learning these kind of things, you have also knowledge of internet, hosting, domain name. So these kind of things you need to know, because suppose you have already made your own website, so you need to like give your website on Google and how basically it works. So you need to learn about these kind of things like internet and hosting, how basically that works. And now the advanced concept I have already mentioned about. So after learning these kind of things, you will become a very good front-end web developer, guys. So this is all about today's video. If you really like this video, you can share it with your friends, and subscribe the Cyber Academy channel. And again, thanks for watching. And in the next video, we're gonna talk about how can you become a very good backend developer. Okay, So also I will just give some introduction and make a complete roadmap. And if you have any suggestion that how can I improve my video lecture, you can just write in comment section. And also if you really want to talk with me, you can just email us at cyberoceanacademy@gmail.com. Thank you.